Cinema Worms.
Discussing everything from Grima Wormtongue to the Shy Halib.
I'm Sabib.
And I'm Lindz.
And this is Cinema Worms Podcast.
Osgood Perkins, writer-director of The Monkey, secretly had his brother, acclaimed musician Elvis Perkins, score his other film, Longlegs, under a pseudonym, Zilgi.
So we're going to be talking about The Monkey, which we just saw. The Monkey is a horror comedy based on an original story by Stephen King in 1980, which was revised quite heavily, I think, and included in his collection, The Skeleton Crew. And it was adapted for the screen by Osgood Perkins, who also directed it. Perkins made his directorial debut in 2015 with The Blackcoat's Daughter and has made a string of horrors, including last year's Longlegs. Now, the film has a nice cold open, which I don't want to spoil for you because we found it quite fun. Suffice to say that it introduces the titular monkey, a cursed object, not a toy, never call it a toy, everyone says, that a man has purchased for his twin sons. And later on in the film, the boys, Hal, the shy, bookish one, and Bill, the rough and tumble jock, go looking in their dad's closet and they find the monkey. As any curious kid might, Bill decides that he's going to turn the key to wind up the monkey, but when it fails to properly play its drums, he kind of grows tired of it and they put it back in the box and sort of put it away. However, the monkey is only biding its time, and that evening while they're out to dinner with the babysitter, a freak accident occurs. The monkey continues to kill people at random. The person who winds up the monkey does not necessarily get to choose who it dies, and as the film progresses, we eventually meet adult Hal, who is now estranged from his very obnoxious brother and who has his annual visit with his son Petey coming up. And when the plot happens, Hal is forced to bring Petey along for the ride, and things go from bad to worse, with lots of fun and gory deaths along the way.
Yeah, I think we both generally enjoyed the film. I loved it, and I think you had some gripes with it.
Really, love is a strong word, but do you really love it?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I love a lot of things. Okay. So,
Oh, no. R.I.P. my ego. No, your love is so easy to obtain.
Goes around.
Oh, wow. Ouch. My heart.
But, I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And so I can't say, this is perfect. This is the best horror film, that I can imagine. But for me, I was just totally engaged throughout and laughing and found it all very compelling. And I had this line that came into my head. I was like, it has a pitch black heart, but that heart is very much beating.
Oh, interesting. You poet.
So, yeah, I don't know if that metaphor makes sense, but it's a bit hard-edged, which can, I think, make it difficult to access if you feel like, okay, these characters are just surrounded by death, and I don't know if I relate to them that much, but I felt invested in the two brothers, particularly Hal, because you're following him most of the time. He's just sort of like this tragic, depressed, sort of slightly pathetically funny character, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Visually, I think the film has the same... I didn't look into the cinematography, but it has the same kind of crispness and rich color saturation as Longlegs. So visually, they were reminding me of each other. I don't know what he's doing with the camera work. I'll look into it. But Osgood Perkins is doing the same thing. It just draws you in, and I'm curious how he does that. But this film is a bit more colorful. There's these nicely stylized shots.
It's colorful. The color is red.
It's very red, though.
The color is human viscera.
And it's got those classically over the top horror shots at times that are just absurd and funny. The gore is outrageous. There are tons of brilliant gags. The first scene. Yo, that was fun. Sold.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I did enjoy that. Now, so the problem that I have with this is, although we'd seen the trailer several times, I was getting the impression it was going to be a bit more like a Final Destination, but with a cursed object. And I'm a little bit of a scaredy cat sometimes, as you know, and I did not find it scary once, and I didn't find it particularly tense either. I will say that Theo James is great as ever. He plays both adult brothers with enough aplomb to sort of convincingly make them feel like quite different people. And Tatiana Maslany is great as their mother as well. But it didn't do what I thought it was going to. And that wouldn't have necessarily taken very much. And I didn't not enjoy it. No, it's never good when I'm breaking out the double negatives, but I did enjoy it. I liked it. I'm not sure that it was great. And I was a little frustrated with the ending. So, of course, we don't give you spoilers here at Cinema Worms, because worms, don't believe in spoilers. I either want a climax to a film, or I want closure. I ideally want both. I will settle for one of them. And I didn't feel like we really got either of them here. I wanted more bonding between Hal and his son Petey. I didn't feel like we got that. It's a fun popcorn film, but if I was going to recommend one horror film that I've seen this year, The Monkey would lose out to Heart Eyes.
And I mean, I would argue that it's not a popcorn film because it's too gory.
Oh, you can eat popcorn to
viscera. You should not be eating popcorn while watching various body parts ripped apart and people generally exploding.
I feel like people enjoy watching people explode while they eat. Isn't that what Tom Cruise does?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, and I found that it was quite...
Wait a minute, you were eating a buttermint for most of it, and you only brought one.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine, but I did find it tense. I really thought Theo James was like, this is like the best I've seen him, and maybe I'm not remembering his other performances, but he was really great as those two brothers.
Excuse me, let me just stop for a second.
I
love Theo James. Theo James single-handedly carried the Divergent films.
I haven't seen them.
Don't even start me. Apart from Kate Winslet briefly being in it. And Kate Winslet as, like, dictator of a YA dystopian novel is, like, I think everyone's type. But Theo James really took it seriously, and his acting ability is very much shown up there as being above the others by leaps and bounds. I will die on the hill of Theo James. He carried that. He was like Atlas with the burden of Divergent as the sky on his back. Sorry, I have like a bone to pick with Divergent.
Yeah,
but he's fantastic. I have no complaints.
He's great. And I mean, this film's really about evil and death. So it's about the randomness and chaoticness of death and of horrible things happening. Yet at the same time, the monkey is this embodiment of evil, and it never stops. It's relentless. So I think that does kind of create a tension inherent to the film that carries it forward. And whoever designed that monkey deserves an Oscar.
Oh, I think that, yeah, it's also a warning to not necessarily pick up everything that you think is cool at a yard sale. You never know what's going to be cursed. So today we'll be talking about Heart Eyes, directed by Josh Rubin. It stars Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding. We cold intro with a couple who are being photographed, getting engaged in this like beautiful scenic location, but the Heart Eyes killer strikes and carnage follows. This masked slasher has cute little hearts for eyes, which is completely adorable, but it seems to me like it probably took this person a lot of time to sew. Never mind, aesthetic is everything. The film mainly follows cynical ad exec Ali and hopeless romantic Jay, who have a meet cute in a coffee shop that ends with both of them injured and one bleeding, which kind of ominously foreshadows the rest of the movie. Ali has, somewhat misguidedly, she works for a jewellery company, and she has based this company's latest ad campaign on the theme of doomed lovers. So Romeo and Juliet, Titanic, and in light of the Heart Eye killer striking again, he only ever strikes on Valentine's Day in a different city, and this city is the one that she's in. This is going down like a absolute lead balloon on social media, with people calling for her to be cancelled and then killed in that order. Hunky J is quickly revealed to be the person hired to fix Ali's failed Valentine's ad campaign, giving her a good reason to scorn him, at least for a while, despite the fact that he's incredibly handsome. The director's love for scary slasher films completely shines through, though there is a lot of comedy. And a helping of romance too, as Ali and Jay find themselves being chased by the Heart Eye Killer, who seems to think that they're a couple despite their loud protestations to the contrary, which provides several very, very funny moments.
Yeah, I haven't seen this movie. I'm hoping to see it maybe next week, but it sounds like it's a lot of fun, and I'm curious kind of what other films it reminded you of.
Well, so Mason Gooding was recently in like some of the Screams as well. I think it was certainly Scream 5. I can never keep track of the numbers, but I saw the last two in a double bill last year. So he has some experience already running from mass killers, and of course I know Olivia Holt from the TV show Cruel Summer. I knew I was recognizing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they're both very good, well cast leads here. It also helps that they've got some nice supporting characters. Jordana Brewster and Devon Sawa, who I didn't recognise straight away, show up as cops who have decided that Jay is likely the Heart Eyes killer, despite the fact that Ali and Jay are both protesting that, no, we were literally both chased by the Heart Eyes killer. How could he possibly be the Heart Eyes killer? Of course, the police, as we all know, are definitely going to listen to people, and certainly a man of color. So yeah, it's really fun. It's a lot funnier than I expected it was going to be, and it's also a decent slasher. There's some really fun jump scares. There was only one kind of continuity thing that I clocked, and it's still bugging me now, but other than that, I don't really have too many complaints. I really enjoyed this. It was everything I wanted in a regular slasher, plus it had more. It was genuinely funny, it was genuinely heartfelt. I could see the potential maybe for sequels or for something else going on. So I'd like to brag here very slightly, because we just finished a little late the second season of Only Murders in the Building, and I correctly clocked the killer in both seasons 1 and 2. I am completely insufferable, as you will know, my darling, and I find it difficult to watch any kind of murder mystery or slasher film or crime show without almost immediately identifying who the killer was. I guessed the main twist in Heart Eyes. I did not guess a particular angle of said twist. And now this is a spoiler-free review, so I won't give you any more than that. But so that really pleased me. I knew what was probably going to happen, but there were certainly things that did surprise me, and that's always nice. And I do think, while it is scary, there's a lot going on that's like an homage to other things as well. There's a time when one of the supporting characters kind of lists a bunch of rom-com titles off, and that's also quite fun. I think you would like this. However, I'm not sure you would like it as much as I know that you enjoyed The Monkey, which is something we'll be talking about in another episode.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun, and I want to check it out after hearing all this.
Yeah, it's a film that I would watch again. And, you know, that's quite good for me. I don't watch there's not many films that I would care to watch again necessarily, and especially this early on in the year, but it really stands out as not only doing its own genre well, but dipping its toes into other genres and not coming up short there as well. So I definitely recommend Heart Eyes. Maybe don't take your date, though. I'm not totally sure. Unless you're very sure that they are not the masked Heart Eyes killer.